I'm Richard Petty, and you might say I've had a fairly successful driving career. And you know the secret of my success? Having a good support team around me when I need it. Whether you're a route driver, over-the-road trucker, or you're interested in driving special purpose vehicles, Clean Harbors is the kind of place where you can build a long driving career. Do yourself a favor, give Clean Harbors a call.
We're at a commercial break.
Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
With creative and flexible tooling solutions for a quick turnaround of your product launch, the Three-Dimensional Services Group gets things done. We do everything in-house, from reviewing CAD files, design and simulation, machining ideal tooling solutions, laser cutting and metal stamping, complex welded assemblies, as well as injection molding, all to get you parts fast without compromising quality. We take on the most complex jobs and deliver beyond expectations.
Welcome back to the Mission Foods Austin Speed Tour. Jonathan Green here, bringing you the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. We're live from the Circuit of the Americas. It's a beautiful day here, as you can see, and we're looking forward to another big finale to the season. This time for TA and the production GT classes, and that's XGT, SGT, and GT. We've had 10 winners at this circuit alone, and one of them is sat next to me. He won in a few years ago, and his name, of course, Adam Andretti. Welcome back. He won for the Ultimate Headers Chevrolet Camaro back in 2015, as well as TA2 in 90.
Yeah, so yeah, actually, it was 2015 as TA2, and that was with EC. Both of my wins here with ECC Motorsports, and in 2015, it was the first year we came here with Trans Am Series. And yeah, we pulled that one off, and then we came here in 2019 with when they just acquired that Pancho Weaver Dodge that you're going to see performing here today with Boris Said starting P2. And the last time that car was here, it won, and I was blessed to be behind the wheel of that thing in 2019. So I do believe I'm the only one that has won both in TA2 and TA classes here at this racetrack, but I believe
Zilich is coming.
But I believe Gar Robinson today is going to be coming after that one, because Gar Robinson has come back. Two-time TA, Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 Series champion, and he came to play in TA with that new Ave Riley chassis. And Riley is who handles his IMSA program and his IMSA racing over the last few years. So they came here and they've been very, very fast all weekend long. Other than Matthew Brabham typing a timesheet yesterday morning, it's been all about the 74 Gar Robinson.
All right, well, talking more of Gar Robinson, we've got him. Why not? Let's head down to Ben Sissel. He's speaking to the man himself in pole, Gar Robinson.
Well, thank you so much, Jonathan. And Adam, it's kind of full circle, because when I joined the Trans Am Series, it was Adam Andretti, Lawrence Loshak, Gar Robinson, Cameron Lawrence fighting it every weekend out in the TA2 Series. But now I'm with TA2 champion twice over, Gar Robinson. But for the first time, he's in a TA GT1 car. And then knowing your family history, there's a lot of cool things happening here with Gar Robinson, George Robinson, and the Rileys.
I think, it's like every kid wants to grow up and be like his dad. And I think I'm having Be Like My Dad Day, like, to the max. Being able to run the TA1 or the new AR3 chassis with the Rileys, just like my dad did back in the day, against some of the guys that my dad ran against back in the day, I don't think you can get much closer to that.
That's exactly right. And I love the fact that the livery matches the George Robinson livery. But I got to point this out, too. The 74 Ranch Resort, like you've always been running, I've had the pleasure of going to the 74 Ranch Resort twice. Fantastic place in South Texas, still representing. But does it feel good to be back with your Trans Am family?
It really does. I mean, this has always been my home. I mean, I've gone off and done all sorts of all sorts of awesome stuff. But I mean, you guys have always been home. I love being here. I love being around here and seeing everybody and just having a great time out here is it makes it really special. I think today is going to be a really special day.
You came back a few years ago in TA2, and you and Misha Goikberg had the closest finish, I believe, in TA2 history, especially at COTA. But now you're going to see what kind of history you can make in this brand new Riley. Gar, good luck. I got to point out, though, our Motul Pole Award winner. And Adam, your friend Adam Andretti's had faith in you all weekend. He was telling people, watch out for Gar Robinson. Absolutely right. Gar, good luck out there. 74 Ranch Resort. Lives here in Austin, Texas. So kind of his backyard. Now, we were talking about that family thing as Boris said's talking to Will Rodgers. But Boris, hold on, Will, sorry about that, but I'm coming to you next. So you fight for the first 10 years in your Trans Am career against George Robinson, and now here you are with Gar Robinson. It's kind of come full circle.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I mean, George was a great competitor, you know, in Trans Am. He was there all through the years when I ran. And his son, I've been keeping an eye on him in IMSA and GT3 or LMP3. He's done a really good job. So, I mean, he's on the pole today, so I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But I'm going to do everything I can to get this car past that car, no matter what.
And I know this is a fast car because A.J. Henriksen was just in the podium with us at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. I'm sure you were watching that. So you've got a good beast here, Boris said, to put us on the top step. So Boris said in this beautiful ECC Engineering Dodge Challenger. Really cool car. Then we're going to come back here. A little bit of a surprise, not a surprise to Will Rodgers, but this XGT car, you guys have been developing these with Chris Evans. Unbelievable car, but, you know, you're probably making some people mad here in TA putting this XGT beast up here in the middle of them.
Good. That's what we're here to do. Yes, Chris Evans, Jerry Pitts, Jeff Jefferson, all these guys that work on this car and have developed this thing over the last few years. It's amazing where we are right now, competing against guys like Boris said in his TA car back there, several other TAs behind us and such, and we're here to again, as always, show the performance of this car and show its growth potential. I think it's a great place for a lot of folks to look at in Trans Am, and I'm just excited to be here. I'm the lucky guy that gets to drive it, and it's just a lot of fun.
Nice. And your Nitro Motorsports brethren, you're a teacher and a coach with the Nitro Motorsports crowd, and they did really well. I think you had 3 in the top 5 up until the last lap.
Yeah, that's right. Very dominant for Nitro Motorsports out there, so very proud of them. Really proud of Brent Cruz for the championship. Got to work with him all year, which it's amazing to work with somebody like that, and also Thomas Annunziata for winning the race. All the drivers are great to work with over there, but those two really stood out today, and super happy that we could come away with the win and the championship.
Nice. Well, there you go, Will Rodgers in this beautiful XGT. We've got Chris Evans over there taking pictures, so also doing some PR with it. Then let's come back. Let's talk to Chris Dyson, 3-time TA champion. Chris Dyson here with Jim Weed back at Circuit of the Americas. So happy to have you back here.
Yeah, Ben, great to be here. Obviously, we'd like to be up on the front row, but we're going to go after Gar as hard as we can today with the Jim Weed car. Really happy to be here and as champion, and looking forward to repeating last year's result if we can, and we're going to be pushing hard to end this season really strong.
Nice. Well, Chris, good luck out there in this beautiful Jim Weed car. In memory of Chris Duke Charlin, I haven't seen that before. Will you speak to that?
Yeah, so Matt Charlin, who's our team manager, his brother left us a few weeks ago, and we just wanted to honor him here and put him alongside my name on the car. And Matt's been one of our longest serving guys, and it was the least we could do.
Nice. I love it. Dyson family, it runs thick there. So thank you so much, Chris Dyson. Let's come over here because something that we need to talk about with this series is the GT class. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris Coffey, this was your first race last year in the Trans Am series, and you're back in another Maserati.
Yeah, no, it was the first race last year, and I was able to put it on pole and win the race, and hopefully we can do the same thing here today.
Nice. Now, what is it about Circuit of the Americas that brings out so many of the GT class cars? And what I mean by that is GT, SGT, and XGT.
Well, I think since it's a combined national West Coast race, we get a lot of the West Coast guys, and I think the West Coast guys have a good, strong GT class field. And so hopefully we can get all those guys to run the National Series next year.
I love it. Thank you. Good luck, Chris Coffey. Let's run up here and try to talk to Ricky Saunders real quick. Ricky Saunders, I believe you've run 2 different classes this year, and in our banquet tonight, you're going to be honored for both of them. But coming here, Circuit of the Americas, how's it feel?
It's pretty good. I've been here one time before with an endurance race, so it's first time I've came here with a professional series, and it's excellent facility, beautiful racetrack, great people. We've been having a good time this weekend, and see what this Audi will do here in just a little bit, and see if we got anything for these other guys.
I love it, this Bridge Hole Audi, and let me just show you here real quick. We were talking about the Chris Evans car, Will Rodgers, but Michelle Nagai has joined us in another one of these cars. We've seen her in a TA car. We've seen her in a TA2 car. Now she's in this XGT car. But, Jonathan, I'm going to send it back up to you to run us through this immense grid. Back to you.
Yeah, it's so good to have the West Coast Championship here, especially as they are showing a thing or two to our national boys. And as you heard there, looking to potentially come to the National Championship, just as Michelle Abate did. And let's take a look at the grid then for this race coming up, the final race of the year. It's the TA grid, and it sees Gar Robinson, 2-time champion from previous, now on pole position. But Boris Said, who's done everything in racing and looking to do it again here today. Will Rodgers, you heard from him. He's looking to go big in this one with the Chris Evans race car, and alongside our 3-time champion Chris Dyson on row 2. Tommy Dreesy, row 3 with Mark Austin. And then Jiangwen Wang and Danny Lowry line up on row 4 in XGT, that is. So we've got a real battle in XGT right at the front. Michelle Nagai and Ricky Saunders, who you just heard from, lining up on the next row. They too fighting for XGT. Now in GT, we've got Chris Coffey, our regular guy. Then we've got Richard Forsyth. He's been in the national scene all year long. But then we've got Joey De Silva, Michael Attaway, who's just had a fantastic race in TA2, but he's lining up on row 7. JC Meynet, another West Coaster, he's here on row 8. Kevin Michaels, alongside him, David Hampton and Todd Naporowski. Brandon Westenberg and Larry Luck. If you've got a name like that, how can you not have any? Row 10. Then Joe Bogadich and Michael Attaway. Attaway, a regular here in the Bennett Bridge Hall Pitboxers.com car GT. Jack Rinke and Wally Dollenbach. That famous name remains on the grids here in TA. It was great to have another champion here. Martin Shurakanyan in row 13 alongside Milton Grant and Rudy Revek, and Matthew Brabham, no time for him. He's not taking part. He's decided he's just going to race his dad in SVRA. Much more fun. Now, in fact, actually, they had to do a car swap again because a few problems for Dyson in that new car that he's got. The Riley not working as well as it working for Gar Robinson, but he's just, I think, channeling his dad at the moment. Big grid, bigger than we often have. You've raced all of these cats in TA before. How's this going to pan out with all the West Coasters here?
It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be fun to call, for one. It's going to be a really fun race for us to call, Jonathan Green. But there's going to be big discrepancies in speed, so traffic is going to be key. This is a very difficult track to negotiate traffic in. You could be 8 seconds a lap faster than a person in front of you. If you catch them through this, stadium section here, you're kind of being in trouble. The Mission Foods Stadium section there, you just can't get that dive on somebody. You're kind of stuck. And it's also the same way through the Bennett's Bridge Hall S's. So it's going to be really, really fun to call this race, Jonathan Green, with all the action we're going to see here today in this grid.
And I want to ask a professional racing driver whether he spotted what I spotted, because I saw you do a move at Mid-Ohio that I hadn't seen before, and you knew what it was all about. It's coming into turn 4 and taking that outside line that then becomes the inside line. And after 11 years of commentating here, from Formula 1, Rallycross, you name it, there now becomes a turn 13, where if you take the outside line and you're side by side up and got good drive out of 12, you just keep your foot in and you've got the inside line for 14.
That's correct. No, it's definitely it has opened up. As the track has worn and the surface has gotten worn down through all the racing that's gone here over the years, you certainly are finding grip in places that you didn't. So yeah, that's a really good observation, Jonathan Green, on getting through there. And what a great section there. One of my favorite parts of the track there, 16 17, 18. The long corner under the tower there is just an iconic turn on this place. It's one of the most challenging places that corner you're going to find around this wonderful circuit.
Yeah, there's no question. Also, another little nuance, if you will, the pole position. We saw it in Formula One for many years. The pole position on the right-hand side, the racing line, as is normal at any racetrack. But we're finding, and we did it for the single-seaters, that the inside line has still got plenty of grip. And if you get a good start from second place on the grid here at the Circuit of the Americas, you can make a block pass into the tiny apex that is Turn 1 Big Red and the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers Turn 1, as we're calling it this weekend. So, again, a few changes here at the circuit that, or a few nuances that I really wasn't aware of until the last few weeks, and I've pretty much done most of the races here. So that's what I'm talking about coming up here. That inside line is not the race line, but amazingly, it seemingly has got a lot of grip. So there you go. You learn something every day.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right. It becomes kind of a free for all there in turn one, and the deeper you're on the pack, the more it's it's almost an exercise of you have to hold your line. You can't go from the outside to the inside to the outside.
All right, well, let's head down to Ben Sissel as we get things underway with 7.5 minutes to go.
Here we go. Well, thank you, Jonathan. I'm here with Cole and Hannah Lee Springer. This Bennett Bridge Hall family of transportation companies has been so cool. I met your grandma in Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. I hang out with your dad, Danny Lowry, at every event. But Hannah Lee, I know you're a big race fan. We met at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. How does this feel to be here at Circuit of the Americas?
This is amazing. All I know is I hear this is the place to be. So we're excited to be here.
Cole, you loving racing as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been kind of tough to get to all the racetracks this year. This one was easy. We appreciated that. Austin's been awesome. Coda's great. Yeah, we've loved it.
I love it. Well, I hope you watch a little bit from the Bennett Bridge Hall S's there. But Hannah Lee, I'm going to hand over the mic to deliver the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
I think she enjoyed that, no question about it. Chris Dyson then firing it all up, as do all of our drivers. And if you're wondering where you're looking at right now, because it's a bit of disorientating, we're actually on the back straight is where we are, because that's where they paddock these Trans Am cars. We've got over 700 cars here this weekend, and so we use the support paddock that they use in Formula One, where the Porsche Carrera Cup paddocks, but here we're getting the Trans Am. So they'll come out of here, come into turn 12, come around the stadium section, and then they'll get ready to go racing. But we've got so many good stories. Gar Robinson kind of challenging his dad. And obviously, starting from pole position, local man, great to see. But I want to talk about this track, Adam. You've raced it many times before. What's the key? Tell us about some of the corners that we're looking at now.
You know, the key is there's, first of all, there's corners here. It's the slowest you'll ever go in any race car. And there's corners here you carry so much speed. And one of those slow corners here is that turn one. Aggressive uphill, flattens out. You get down to turn two, great speed. Entrance to the SS, big commitment it takes. And then you really have to slow down for the exit. Turn 10, easy flat as you come through there. Another one of those tight corners. You got to get good drive down this long back straightaway. It's a little bit uphill and then downhill for the braking section into 12. Stadium section's all about patience. You get into 16, 17, 18. You want to get on that left rear tire and get it to rotate. Cheat the entry of turn 19 a little bit, turn 20, and bring it home.
Nicely done. 3.4 miles, and that's because the number 34, the world champion from 93, was the only one and only Kevin Schwantz. He had a huge part in the design of this circuit, in part by Herman Tilke as well, as most of the Formula One modern circuits are. But Kevin Schwantz, a local man from Houston, Texas, originally now in Austin, and as an ex-world motorcycle champion, he decided to have his pen and take a look at this, and he came up with a pretty good design, I would say. I haven't heard a motorcycle rider or a four-wheel driver of any sort, whether it be Trans Am or whether it be Formula One, say they don't like it. Ranch Resort will be on board with our pole man, Gar Robinson, who's going psychedelic purple with us for the weekend. I think that's just an adjustment that he needs to make. But anyway,
they got the night vision lens on there.
He's got the night vision lens on it, yeah. He's out hunting deer as well as trying to win the race.
They do a lot of that at the 74 Ranch Resort.
They do.
Yeah, I've been fortunate, my wife and I, to enjoy time there, and Saw George Robinson this weekend inside the motorhome lot. They're having just a really good time. They're having fun here. That's what this deal was all about for them. I would love to see them commit to more. You know, the schedule he has, I believe, and IMSA is soft enough that they could get to more of these TA races, and he definitely brings a great dynamic to it. He's got the legend himself, Boris Said, right behind him in that ECC Motorsports. That is a Weaver Dodge, but it's prepared by ECC Motorsports. That's the Hendrickson family. That's the family that gave me my break into Trans Am, and you know, AJ is one of my closest friends, will always be, and I just love to see them up front. They work so hard to be here. My teammate Wally Dallenbach Jr. suffered engine problems in the actual Pancho Weaver prepared Dodge. They got that team worked feverishly through the night. Has that car ready for him as I see him cross right in front of me in that number 4 car. So I'll be looking for Wally Dallenbach Jr. also to be charging up through this field, Jonathan Green.
Championship's already over. Dyson wrapped it up at VIR. There you see his points and best finishes, and he's had a fantastic year again. We'll be on board with the Jim Weed, number 16 of Chris Dyson, our 3-time winner. 9 podiums in all, looking for another one. It's not been an easy run, though. Dyson, we're used to being at the sharp end of pole position or second, but not today. He's got some work to do from 4th on the grid. And as you see there, previous winners, Chris Dyson, Matthew Brabham, his teammate, 21. Boris Said, who's in this race, 2020. Some guy called Adam Andretti. Well, he got the short straw this weekend. He stuck with me. 2019 winner, and Ernie Francis Jr. now in Indy Lights in 2018, the winner.
Yeah, this place has been very, very good to me over the years. I've, like, as we mentioned before, won 2 races here. You know, always run up front. I just really, really enjoy the facility here, and the people are so nice here, Jonathan. You know, despite you, but but yeah, no, the people are great, and you know, the competition in Trans Am is always fun and fierce. But yeah, this is definitely a great way always to end our seasons. You know, in the Trans Am series, a wonderful place to be.
Well, there's the Drivers' Championship. You can see Dyson with 967, insurmountable. Tommy Dreese currently second, but he's going to stay there because Amy Ruman not here this weekend, and also will be a long way behind him with 700 points. Justin Marks not here. He's busy doing NASCAR, but he's had a fantastic season. David Patarik 5th. Matthew Brabham not racing in this race, but he too has had a sensational season, winning early on and then backing up Dyson to take that 3rd title. We'll be on board with Will Rodgers in that bright orange 3rd place car just ahead of Dyson. You see Dreese in the MAV TV Lucas Oil number 8, bright blue behind him. Then it's Mark Austin. Wang is 7th, Lowry 8th, we mentioned him, and his daughter doing the command there for the Bennett Bridge Hall Mercedes AMG GT3. Michelle Nagai from the West Coast, she comes in the Chevrolet Camaro with Nagai Racing and Berkeley Jet Drive. Looking forward to seeing what they can do. Ricky Saunders, we spoke to him in the run-up to the race. Looking forward to racing on this huge field. A whole bunch of XGT cars and a whole bunch of GT cars, more than we've ever had all season. Now you can see them getting 2x2. Is it hard to form up like this?
I was you read my mind. I was just going to say this is one of the trickiest places to get side-by-side through because of that stadium section. You go through that Mission Food Stadium section, and it's super, super tricky. And we need to be bunched up because, you know, we're coming to green here, and the flag stand is just past halfway point on the front straightaway. But yeah, it's time that the back of the field needs to get caught up to this, and this is going to be really interesting here because Chris Dyson has not shown the 1-lap pace, but anytime we've seen that out of the 3-time champion in the past this year, he has shown race pace. His race pace has been phenomenal. So I look for him to have good race pace here. It's going to be really interesting with Will Rodgers, a heck of a shoe here, taking that XGT car and putting it up in the mix of these TA cars. This is going to be really fun to watch. Jonathan Green through turn 20, coming to this green flag. Call it, buddy.
Yeah, doesn't get any better than this. The grand finale here at the Circuit of the Americas, 2x2. They'll head up that famous hill here at the Circuit of the Americas. The final race of the year. Gar Robinson on the right, Boris Said on the left in the grey. They get racing. Good start from the Lucas Oil number 8 of Tommy Dreese. Rodgers locks up slightly in the orange. Round the outside goes Dyson, but it's going to be Gar. Gar Robinson, the 2-time champion, holding off Boris Said at the start. One of the AMGs goes wide and high. Tommy Dreese, we're on board as he's losing spaces. He's down to 7th already, but Dreese will be coming back, and he's already made up 1 spot. Great start to this one, clean start to this one, but frenetic.
Yeah, very good. And again, you look back at those XGT cars mixing it up. Chris Dyson was able to clear Will Rodgers, which was really important for him in his race at the front of this TA field. It was good side-by-side running with Boris said in the Engineered Components Dodge Challenger up against that 74 Ranch Resort Chevrolet Camaro.
Over the top at 10. We're on board with Chris Dyson, the 3-time champion. Long way to go yet. 30 laps or 100 miles. Under braking, heavy braking now. Boris said hitting that bump nicely. Where's Rodgers gone? He's disappeared.
Yeah, we have lost, lost Rodgers, but we have Mark Austin, who's there in the mix in that beautiful AMG Mercedes-Benz, who's just clicking it off right
Rodgers
there. Yeah,
pulling off to the side just before 11.
It looks like possibly a flat tire.
Yeah, it could be.
Is what it looks like he's possibly fighting here.
Yeah, look, you can see how he's fighting the wheel.
Yeah.
He's going to try to make it or just sort of get back to the pits and see if he can get it fixed.
And that's tricky, right? Because you don't want that carcass to come apart. It looks like the right rear tire is down on the rim, so you've got to be careful that you're not starting to rip away this really, really thin bodywork that they have on there. Those tires, if the carcass starts to fall around, as we climb on board here with the 74 Ranch Resort Chevrolet Camaro, Gar Robinson, two-time Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 Series champion, coming back here to lay it down for the first time in a TA car. I've been telling that young man for years that ever since I sat foot in a TA car, that was what Gar Robinson was built for, is TA cars. He is so good at high horsepower stuff, and boy, you don't get much more high horsepower than what we have here in the TA series.
Yeah, and Gar Robinson's as sharp as ever. He's just come off a brilliant year in IMSA, and yeah, there's no question it wasn't a surprise to many that he took the pole position from away from the regulars, because Dyson and Boris said know just how good he is. He's had a phenomenal IMSA season, and he continues it here in Trans Am, coming back to his happy hunting ground and home of Texas. Obviously, the Californian of Lucas number 8 and MAV TVs, Tommy Drisino, trying to get back onto level terms as the TA class begin to slowly pull away from the rest of the field. But Danny Lowry, Mark Austin, Wang, all involved. Nagai there in 8th place. Ricky Saunders 9th. Chris Coffey, a regular, another Texan in 10th position. De Silva, then Dallenbach, all the way up to 12th already. So Wally still got what he had back then in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Wally's I expect Wally to come through this field in that Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger rather quickly and make short work of it. He's always as hungry as ever. I just love spending the weekends with Wally Dallenbach Jr. and you know, his energy and his thirst for this sport still is still so strong, and you know, we're really excited for where we're going to go forward with Ultimate Headers Racing in 2024. But looking here at Mark Austin, the leader of XGT, was really mixing it up there inside that TA field, but Tommy Drisey was able to clear him. You know, those GT3 cars and the TA cars make their lap time in vastly different areas around the racetrack, but it's amazing how it really evens out on the stopwatch, because obviously the GT3 cars are going to make their lap time in the tight section as we come through there, but also the TA cars, these long straightaways in the full throttle area that we're under, you can't match that 900 horsepower and what's going on there, as we see Gar Robinson negotiating here through turn 16.
Here's Rodgers. Yeah. And they're lifting it. It is right rear. You're right. And he's going to try and get going again, obviously. If it is just a puncture and there's no damage to the internals or the suspension or the brake discs.
There's a chance to stay, you know, on the lead lap. And, you know, this is your leader right here, so you'd have to get it done quick. But, you know, there was an off chance that he was going to be able to stay on the lead lap. And, you know, bring this fight. But we're watching Tommy Drisey come into this fight. Tommy has had a wonderful weekend this weekend.
He doesn't often have them.
Yeah, he's been struggling. You know, there's been no secret to the struggles he's had. But he came here to COTA, and he's been a serious contender all weekend long. Every session, he's been at the pointy end of it. And it's just really good to see that Lucas Ford Mustang. Beautiful livery, MAV TV supported there, and you know, just really excited to see that, you know, his season's looking like it's going to end on a nice high note here.
Yeah, I noticed a little body damage, but nothing that would cause any problems, and he's definitely closing in. Talking of problems, though, here's a problem for the 12. That's Jack Rinky and Rinky Dink, and unfortunately the back of the car is off, and so too the side of it. So big problems for Jack. You can see the whole.
Yeah, that's not good there. Yeah, in the back, it looks like that might have been some help there. I know, or he backed into an area on the racetrack, or someone met the front bumper to his rear bumper. But we're not seeing anyone else with the damage to prove that. But you mentioned a little bit of body damage on Tommy Drisey's car. That is familiar territory.
Yeah.
You know, the bodywork guys over at 3GT over there, they definitely get their money's worth out of the year. And this is a great battle here for second
Lowry
and third.
and Wang,
Yeah, and XGT. And as that Lamborghini really tried to shoot off there to get the run on the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3, this is a good battle here, because these two cars, again, they make their lap time in different areas, and they fall into the rules of the FIA homologation and the FIA balance of performance. So this is very similar to what you see in GT racing all around the world, and we got it right here in our backyard of Trans Am. We love this.
Yeah, totally good. And this goes back to the start of Trans Am, because it started off as a sedan series and a production-based series, and then we got the tubular flames and the silhouette, the TA and a TA2. So, Wang!
Trying to cut underneath. Wang was trying to get that run underneath, and just had a little bit too much throttle with steering angle, and it wasn't enough it was too much to handle there. But I would say with the pace that Wang has, that he's going to close that gap pretty quick, right back up to Danny Lowry.
So we've got Will Rodgers in the pits at the moment, and you can see he's putting his hands in the air in frustration because he's still there, and he's just going to have to wait. But we're going to pause for a bit while he waits. We'll do the same. But at the front, it's Robinson, Said, and Dyson. That's your top three. Dreesy, bit by bit, reeling in. Dyson, Austin right there, leading in XGT. And we've got a great battle, or it was a good battle, between Lowry and Wang. Wang just got turned around. Here's our GT leader. And, yep, GT just as well. The strongest GT battle we've had in a long time. Chris Coffey in the hunt in that one, in that rather fantastically painted car.
It's awesome. It sounds great. I mean, everything about that Maserati is brilliant. I touched on this when we were at VIR. I got to be named Coffey and their whole race team, at VIR, and got to know them quite well, and get some stories. And it's amazing, how things worked out for him to acquire this car. Didn't even know the car existed, and now he's out here doing what he does. He did this last year. Came out here, sat on pole, won the race, and he is on target to do that if he keeps it nice and clean. As we see Will Rodgers entering the track again, a couple 3 laps down or so, but you never know what happens here, Coda, and you cannot give up around this 3.4 mile circuit.
Oh, never say never. You're absolutely right. We've seen in the past, and we saw it in TA2 last year, that if you give up, you can ruin the championship. Merrill winning on a countback of an equal number last year, and not able to do it this year. But Frank Cruz is our new champion, the youngest ever. But Will Rodgers back out on track from what was looks like.
And he's going to stay off the curbing. You notice right now, you use a lot of curbing here at Circuit of the Americas. He's staying off curbing because he's got new tires. So you got to be nice to the tire there for a good half lap to a full lap. Stay off the curbing, stay off the loading it real hard, and that's what he's doing. So he's being real smart. Exactly what you would expect out of a driver like Will Rodgers. He is an exceptional talent, and just again, another one of those talents we're just so happy to have here in the Trans Am Series.
30 laps. It goes from 5. We are at 5 now. 30 in all. And we welcome back our MAV TV viewers. Gar Robertson leading the way. Boris Said in second. Chris Dyson and Tommy Dreesy. We've got great battles going on, though, throughout. Here's the production class battles further down the order a little. And the GT class just as hardly fought, with so many West Coast guys involved in it in terms of the West Coast and what's up for grabs. Obviously, we've got... we saw Rodgers out there. He's already won his XGT championship. JC Meynet on double duty today. He's out there too.
And I tell you, this battle in GT, for the last podium spot with David Hampton, JC Meynet, as you just mentioned, and Todd Naparowski, is really a strong battle and a fun thing going on too, as we got a battle up front here as well for the last podium spot in the TA top class that you're looking at there. Tommy Dreesy is filling the mirrors of Chris Dyson, and there's this could be one of those epic battles that we've seen of these two championship drivers over the years.
178 miles an hour down the long back straight here at the Circuit of the Americas. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Beautiful day here in Austin, Texas, and on board with our 3-time champion Chris Dyson, continuing a 40-year legacy for the Dyson family. And his dad will be pretty proud of what he's achieved. It's never hard, it's never easy. I'm sitting next to a man who knows that, to be in a family of success when it comes to racing. But Dyson has done it perfectly so far and has carried the family name well.
Absolutely. I mean, he's like very few are 3 times champion in this great series, and he's one of them. So, on top of that, all the wins and poles that they've racked up, it's been a very, very successful program, and there's no slowing down for them. It seems soon as we watch Gar Robinson really stretch this lead out. He stretched this lead out to over 3.5 seconds. Now at the point, being Bill Riley inside, I'm sure is on the box there on the microphone with him. This is 100 miles on one tire, so he hasn't done that in a long time. Gar Robinson, this is a great battle.
This is SGT, and it's Michael Attaway, and it's really good stuff. Forsyth and LaPaglia going at it. LaPaglia coming back in the Mustang. He's already had a podium in the TA2 race in the West Coast, and he's at it again here.
And Michael, really nice guy. We got to meet each other on the grid here this year in the TA2 class, and I didn't even notice until I came to was studying for the broadcast here about him doing double duty this weekend.
Yeah.
And this is a physical racetrack, so to jump right out of a TA2
That's 200
car,
miles of racing at 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's so, hats off to him and his fitness level and where he's doing, because he's obviously, the concentration levels there, and he's in a great battle here for this position in GT.
Well, we can confirm Jack Rinke in the 12 was retiring with suspension damage to that car. We saw him slowing down. The other big incident, Will Rodgers in and out and got a new tyre, and he's off and running as this SGT battle, Super GT as it's known. We've got the GT classes of XGT and SGT, and this is your battle for SGT.
Yeah, Forsyth doing a really good job.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, this is for the win. This is for the lead. So there's not going to be any holding back from either of these drivers. And Michael's looking home to take a lot of hardware from this weekend. And so it's going to be hard to try and wrestle that away as we watch back on board the 74 Ranch Resort Chevrolet Camaro of Gar Robinson as he goes through that really fun 16, 17, 18 section. Takes tons of commitment. Big bump there at the end there of 18. Turning into turn 19, you'll see him kind of cheat right there over the curbing. Perfectly legal, perfectly within the track limits here. There's 2 approaches that you can have to 20. You can either straddle that curbing and make the arc a little bit longer, or you can do what Gar did and just kind of keep yourself on that side of the curbing of the gator back there and not upset the tire. Looking at Boris said in the engineered components, Dodge Challenger, anchor, bolt, and screw, also on board with them. Boris said behind the wheel, the legend himself. And then right behind here, we got that battle for the last podium spot of Chris Dyson and Tommy Dreese, the 2 great champions of this great series.
Yeah, you forget Tommy Dreese won his championship a few years ago now, but he's as hot as ever and all over the back of Dyson. And he's actually reeled him in the last few laps, so we'll keep an eye on this battle. I'm also keeping an eye on Will Rodgers. He's up to 24th, having been in the pits. But look at this, now in traffic, maybe there's a chance for Dreese to make his move. The GT cars get offline so they can go through, and now it's back uphill, and Dreese will try to build on this through 8 and 9 to try and make a move at 11. If he doesn't do it there, he'll slot behind Dyson, and then Dyson definitely being slowed down. Dreese almost hits him. Wow.
So, you timed that just right, and Dreese has a run here to get down here into our final, into the turn 11 here onto the back straightaway. So the Customers Bank turn 11 there would have been a great opportunity for Tommy Dreese had he not just had that missed timing there and had to check up as to not get into the back of Chris Dyson. So great discipline on Tommy Dreese's part to not get into that mix, and he's going to live to fight another day, and he's got pace on, I believe, on the 16 of Chris Dyson, the 3-time champion. Now he just has to calm down, relax, and get another attack done.
Yeah, he's gone back to his oldest chassis, the one he won the title with last year, and so Dyson's had a struggle weekend for him, and so I think that Dreese just sees his opportunity. Perhaps he doesn't get many chances to have a pop at the 16, but as they come through the Mission Foods Stadium section, Dreese getting ever closer now. And we are 7 laps into this 30-lap race. There's still plenty more to come. Gar Robinson continues at the front and is extending his lead. So, into 18, and again, more traffic to deal with. And Dreese sticking with it, though. And Dyson nice and wide.
And he got Boris Said sitting there in P2. Now, he is a legend for a reason. He knows what he's doing. So, this thing gets a late caution. He's not abusing the tire. He's being really easy on the tire. Gar is really setting a pace out there. A good, strong pace, in the 210s. And But Gar's no dummy either. He's, again, like I mentioned, 2-time champion and doing really, really well in endurance racing. And endurance racing is all about saving your car and knowing when to pounce. So he's being super, super smart here at the head of the field. And now you're at the point you can use traffic and let traffic help you out.
Well, the Mustangs flying through the countryside of Texas. It's an old story, but it's just as new in 23 because we've got 2 of them in traffic right now, and they're trying to hold up the reins of this great battle between Dyson and Dreesy. And Dreesy's going to lose a lot of time here. Finally gets it done over the top of 10.
Yeah,
now he's got to catch back up.
That helped Chris Dyson breathe a little bit there. So Chris is going to, right now, it's about Chris setting his head down and try and open that gap because it's a little bit more difficult for the driver behind. If they lose that sniff of the driver ahead, you lose some of those little quick advantages you can find. 5-10 feet here in the braking zone, a little bit earlier on the throttle, whatever the case may be, you're missing out on that when that distance spreads. So now Chris got to put his head down and try and open that gap and continue to open that gap so he can really focus forward.
Yeah, you can see the gap he's managed to build, and it's not comfortable because you just get the feeling that Dreesy's just a little bit quicker today, and his last lap at 2:11.1 compared to Dyson's 2:11.1, so they're on the same pace at this point, but you saw how quickly that Dyson caught him, that Dreesy caught Dyson in the previous races. Plenty more to come from this here. We're not even 10 laps into this race, so more to come for sure. We welcome back our MAV TV viewers as we've got a cracking race here at Lowry and Wang. And they're doing it again. Wang has already had one spin, but he's caught back up to him.
Yeah, I mentioned that when he did have the spin. If he just settles down and put the head down, hate to be a broken record, and hit your marks, he had pace, on Lowry here. So Wang is there, chomping at the bit, ready to attack. And this traffic up ahead looks like it might help. Look what happened here. We have Boris said right on the tail. That's traffic for sure. I said at the beginning of our broadcast, you could be 8 seconds a lap faster than the car in front of you, and look right here, you catch him in the S's, and you're going to be in trouble. They brought Boris said right to the back door of Gar Robinson, and this has just made it really interesting, folks, for the overall win.
Well, one of the most experienced drivers, 2 of the most experienced drivers in American racing, going at it. Gar Robinson, 28 years of age. Boris said in his early 60s, but just as fast as ever. We go on board with our leader, Gar Robinson, who is under threat now from Boris said. You talked about getting a sniff. Well, he's got that sniff. And now with the traffic coming in to play here at 11, Gar will want to clear these as quick as he can in the faster and more powerful unlimited or 850 brake horsepower plus cars. And away he goes. He's got past 1, now 2. But Boris said is looming.
Yeah, and Boris is the kind of hunter you don't want to give him a sniff because he'll pounce. So Boris is right there on the attack, and this is going to change Gar. Look at him; he's a little defensive already. So it's going to change Gar's approach a little bit, where Gar had that comfortable lead and could just focus forward. Now he's got a mirror full of a silver Engineered Components Dodge Challenger of Boris said, and Boris has got pace. Look at this, Boris, the torque of that Dodge.
And that was that 13 move I told you about. Full course yellow, just as he does it.
And I think Gar has slowed down, so this is going to be pull that one back. So I believe that was done with the full course caution out. So Gar was slowing down for that, and I believe we'll maybe get that lead to exchange back. But now, that was encouraging to watch.
Will they be able to tell Boris that he needs to give the place back?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll come over the call, and he definitely, if it's really tight, I wouldn't want to leave it up to the stewards, right? So. That's the last thing you want to do in these things is to leave that up to the end of the stewards, and you fight for your life out here. So it looks like Boris is moving over and going to give the spot back. So that's good sportsmanship there. That's exactly how that's going to go down. But Boris also showed his hand a little bit, showed where he's got a little bit of pace.
Well, we are under caution here in what is turning out to be a really cracking TA2 finale here at the Circuit of the Americas. We'll take a short break, and this is the positions after lap 9. Robinson and Said going at it. Said did a move, but it was under caution, so he had to give it back. Dyson's still third, but he's trying to hold off Dreesy. Plenty to go. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
And I'm going to change. And I'm going to change. I know we can do it. No matter how I try.
Welcome back to the Circuit of the Americas, where we're under caution. As you can see, we're on board with Gar Robinson. That camera shot, by the way, just a bit odd. It's purple, so it's not meant to be. It needs adjusting, but and that's also not working for his miles per hour either. So don't worry, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with the car. But,
well, I mean, you got to remember what Gar said. He's having to live his dad day. And you remember back when George was running Trans Am, the in-car camera, that's kind of the quality picture you got out of it. So, you know, he's really living his dad's day right there. So.
No question about it. So we're under caution and we await the resumption of this, but so much to talk about. And in a minute we'll also hear from Ben Sissel. He's got some interesting guests that will bring this story forward. We're under caution here, and we welcome our viewers on MAV TV and around the world on our SpeedTour live stream. But let's go down while under caution to Ben Sissel to get the latest from the pits.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan. And Adam, you can speak to this too, but one of the first people I met in racing was John Cloud, racing with us in SVRA. Then he raced with us in TA2, won Masters a few times. But he is the one that's brought Wally Dallenbach back into Trans Am. This has been a lot of fun, hasn't it, John?
It absolutely has. We started out in vintage racing, the V-Rock Series. We won the championship there together. We started running the 44 car in Group 10 with SVRA, and Wally and I decided it'd be kind of fun to drive it in Trans Am, and Tony was gracious enough to let us do that. We've decided to retire that car. We have a new one being built. It's a little bit behind schedule, so Pancho was gracious enough to allow us to run his Dodge in this event with Wally in the seat, and thank him for that very much. He's quite a gentleman, and I like to surround myself with gentlemen in racing, and it's been a real thrill. Trans Am is a thrill of my lifetime. Yeah.
Nice, I love it. Now, Pancho, Wally had to start in the back of the grid, making for a very long night last night for the team.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an issue with the engine, and we decided instead of taking a chance to just go ahead and change it, give him the best run he could possibly have here today. John Cloud's been a blessing to this team. We really enjoy him. He helped us out at Mid-Ohio, and here we are at COTA, where we've done really well in the past. We got Boris also, and another Dodge up front. And Boris actually got out of this seat this weekend, so John Cloud and Wally could be a part of this team this weekend. We really appreciate Boris and John Cloud and Wally. It's just a great family.
But speaking of Wally, now that we've got this full course caution, he's moved his way up, and now we're starting from green. It's almost like a restart for Wally, and knowing how fast he is, he could move up front.
And his times are as fast as the three guys in front of him, so it's going to be a race here for sure. And Wally loves the race.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We've been adjusting the car to fit his style. Every driver's a little bit different, and it's really coming in now. We threw a few more things in on it just before this start. We missed qualifying yesterday because of this engine change. We start at the back of the pack. We started at 22nd. His first lap, he was 12th, then 9th, and now he's in 6th. And we're hoping to go forward with this yellow, tightening up the whole class.
Now, let's not get technical, but how do you set up a car to adjust to Wally's style? Is there a knob for like balls out? Is there a setting for just balls out?
Well, that might be where he has it set, yes. And we've got another knob that we didn't show him where it was at, but I can tell him on the radio, so.
Nice. Gentlemen, back to you, and Adam, you can speak to John Cloud as well.
John Cloud is Wally and I say it all the time, and we say it sincerely, the best car owner we've ever driven for. He's a wonderful human being, and he gives us all the opportunities for success, and that's the recipe to his success in life, honestly, is support the people around you and trust them, and he's given an incredible amount of trust in us, and he's been a huge blessing in my life and in my wife's life, and yeah, we love our John Cloud. He's a great man and one of the really wonderful people of the paddock, that we have here. So he's a wonderful, awesome competitor too. Like when he was in SVRA, won championships, driver of the year, so many accomplishments, outside of the business world, and he attacks everything with the same, momentum. He attacks it all with the same mantra: is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And you love the guy for all that, we're Wally is on a roll. Wally Dallenbach Jr., I'm telling you, the lap times, they're no joke. I honestly am a little suspect that the engine problem that came up might have been there from early on in the weekend, because this is the most speed that they've shown. I think he'll make quick work of Mark Austin here in that Mercedes GT3 car, and he'll go to attack up here. And there's very few racers out here on the racetrack that race as well as Wally Dallenbach Jr.
While we're under caution, let's quickly remind you of how the championship went. Chris Dyson winning over Tommy Dreese, second. Amy Ruman, top 3 in XGT. Danny Lowry, Chris Evans, Nathan Bird. Those, of course, National Championship. And then in XGT, Danny Lowry, Chris Evans, Nathan Bird, I just mentioned that. SGT, Lee Saunders, Ricky Saunders, Milton Grant. And GT, Michael Attaway, Billy Griffin, and Jack Rinke, already out with that broken rear end to the car. But we're about to go to green again, and I'll tell you about the West Championship after we get another chance. But as you can see, the Honda Civic pulling in now, as Gar Robinson will pick it up at the front, but he's now under pressure from a bunch of cars that all want to beat him. But he knows he's at home. His friends are here. His family is here. He needs to win here. He's in his dad's colours from yesteryear, but it's still the Rally chassis, and he wants to bring Riley home another win. Here we go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of debris. I saw my teammate Wally Dallenbach hit on the front straightaway. Hopefully that doesn't become a thing later on. It looked like a soft piece of debris, so that's a benefit. Look at Boris Said taking the lead from Gar Robinson into turn 1, and look at open the door for Chris Dyson, 3-time champ, to look underneath at turn 2. Slams the door shut. The 74 car of Gar Robinson goes on the attack to the 79 of Boris Said.
Boris Said made that one looking easy at the top of the hill there, but now can he hold off Gar Robinson? That's the question. Gar Robinson's now got Dyson all behind him, so now he knows he's in a fight, because he's got two of the biggest names in TA. And
it goes back to how much tire is left, right? Gar was going out and just setting pace and setting pace. And now here you go. Boris, being coy, backed off, saved a little bit of tire, and now look at the game is on. We're lap 12 of 30, not even halfway, but still, we're looking like this is the last lap race.
I know, it's a really good one too. And nothing between the top 4. Dreese right there as well. Tommy Dreese in 4th position.
It's a big power slide out of Gar Robinson out of turn 11 there, coming down this front straightaway, costing the time to get to the 79 Dodge up Boris Said, but it's going to be hard to outbrake Boris Said in this Dodge. As one of the big attributes of the Weaver Dodge that I noticed when I drove it is very, very, very solid under the brakes.
Into the stadium section, the Mission Food Stadium section, and right now Gar Robinson didn't make the move at 12, but he's eyeing himself up for that move, probably at the top of 1, just as Boris did to him. He might pay the compliment back.
Yeah, this stadium section, the torque of that Dodge seems to really show up. He gets a little bit of a gap here. The line, look at the different lines through 16, 17, 18. That's what I love about that corner. And nobody gained time on one another through there. Pretty similar line through turn 19, cheating the entrance a little bit and the exit. And everyone's going to be on this side of the curbing there for the braking as they come onto the front straightaway and climb the hill. This is a great battle. And we watch Wally Dallenbach Jr. sitting back there behind Tommy Dreese looking for the attack as well.
Yeah, Gar Robinson not quite close enough to get a little suck from the back of the grey car, but he stays in second. Now, the next car up, Mark Austin in the 4. Wally Dallenbach, in the Dayglow. And he is in 5th place now. And look at this. I said watch out for Will Rodgers. He's coming too as well. I don't know if he's a lap down, but he's there. And now Dreese's got some problems. He's got Dallenbach all behind him. And, yeah, he is set and ready to go.
Yeah, Will Rodgers is 2 laps down, so he's not really a factor. Oh, Chris Dyson spins out.
What a surprise. A rare mistake for the whole season for Chris Dyson. Never seen him do that before. I think he bounced off a curb, as often happens here at COTA, and he's found himself in the kiddie litter. Let's hope he gets it started. I don't think he's going to.
It's awfully slick out here, too. You know, the conditions are really, really slick. We were just out there in the big machine Vaca Spike Cooler TA2 class. And, yeah, I can attest to that. And, you know, just a little bit of the throttle with the wrong bump, as you said, Jonathan Green, as you so astutely pointed out, grabbing a little bit too much curb can make kind of the difference there. But
meanwhile, Gar's got the lead back.
Yeah, Gar got the lead back in one of those deals, in one of those situations. But, you know, Boris is not letting him go. And, you know, Boris, like, you know, push him a little harder, let him push those tires off. But that ECC Motorsports Dodge Challenger there, that thing really fired off a lot quicker than the 74 Ranch Resort car of Gar Robinson.
Well, we've got everything going on here in this race. Another lead change, and the champion has restarted. Yeah, we've just heard from race control that Chris Dyson did get it going again, so that's good news. So there'll be no need for a full course yellow and a safety car, so that means we carry on racing. Gar Robinson back at the front. He got the lead back from Boris, but Boris is tailing him hard as they come through 20.
You know, there's also a battle there, too, developing for the lead of XGT, as we have this battle up front in the TA class. We also have between Mark Austin and Wang out there going out, and they are battling. There's only a less than a second, only 0.6 of a second separated between those, and Danny Lowry is right there in the mix as well. So we're seeing a lot of great battles there throughout the field in XGT, and then you get into the GT class. Chris Coffey seems to have that pretty well handled, you know, in GT with Joey De Silva, P2 kind of all alone there, and then David Hampton there, you know, P3 in the GT class. As you get into SGT, you have Richard Forsyth still leading, Michael Attaway in SGT, and then to final up that podium in SGT, you're going to get down there to Milton Grant. So really, really good battlings all the way through in all these classes of racing, Jonathan Green.
Over the top of 10 and down to 11. Heavy braking. You can see it on your dial there, on the big B and the red dial as he turns it in, hits the apex, now gets on the drive. Such an important corner here at COTA this. If you mess that up and get squirrely or get sideways or go wide, it can ruin your whole back straight, and it's a major, major part. Here's that battle you were talking about in SGT. It's really nice. Wang has caught back up. XGT, and has caught right back up.
Yeah, Wang's doing a fantastic job here in this in TA, in this XGT class, and certainly isn't letting Mark Austin get away with this thing here. He cleared Lowry, who's, you could just see coming in your picture, you know, way before, you know, earlier, and really that caution helped him out, brought him to Mark Austin. Now we're going to have a battle up here at the front, I feel.
Yeah, this is a great battle. The Mercedes with that fantastic color scheme with the Joker on the side. But there's no joke going on here. He's in a big battle, is Mark Austin, and loving it, I'm sure. But Wang has caught him back up again. Well, he's lost out a little bit in that Mission Food Stadium section, but and now just stretching his legs as we look high above the McConaughey complex. And the amphitheater right there. Austin in the background. What a venue this is. It's so beautiful.
It is. I mean, wonderful for you, Jonathan Green, to have this in your backyard. And speaking of backyards, Gar Robinson's backyard as well, as he lives on the local lake here. And you got, you know, Boris is not letting him go.
No, he's not.
And this is a good battle here for the final podium spot between Wally Dallenbach Jr. and Tommy Dreese. And Will Rodgers has just shown where that pace of that car would have been had their fate been a little bit better without having the tire failure that he had, or the puncture earlier in the race. And I think that, you know, could come from contact or anything along those lines. It could have been a multitude of things that can happen. I've had wheel-to-wheel contact before where it rips a valve stem out. So, you know, this strange things can happen in these race cars, in this race environment.
So we're watching Wally Dallenbach, one of the greats, and another former Trans Am champion, just like Dreese, just like Gar. And sadly, I'm looking to see where Dyson's going to pop out, because he was stuck solid for a few moments there. He's down in 13th at the moment, just ahead of Hampton and just behind Joey De Silva. So Dyson will try to make his way up. He's on faster pace than those in front, but he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get back in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's the rare occasion that all 5 of the TA drivers that started the race here this afternoon, Jonathan Green, all 5 are past champions.
Yeah.
You know, that shows the competitiveness of what you have, you know, and sometimes it's not necessarily, you know, quantity, it's quality. And we have quality 5 TA cars and drivers fighting up for this win and the overall victory here today.
Well, Boris is back there again, and the Mission Food Stadium section is helping him, because look how close he's getting here at 15.
Yeah, they got great power in that Dodge. And so the difference between these two Weaver Dodges, not only the preparation being from different teams, ECC Motorsports prepping this Silver 79 that we're watching Boris said, Chase Gar Robinson with, but also that car right there has a 5-speed sequential gearbox in it. Now, Poncho's number 4 Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger that Wally Dallenbach Jr. is driving, that has got a 4-speed. And you get a weight break with the 4-speed, but at the really slow corners here, the 4-speed could kind of work against you. And I think that's where Wally's kind of stalling out behind Tommy Dreese, I believe. And this is where you see the competitiveness, too, of Boris said, you know, having that extra gear, being able to pop out of these really, literally around COTA, Circuit of the Americas, they're the slowest corners you will ever go in a race car. And I swear, I don't care if you're in a Formula 1 car or in a Trans Am car, a TA2 car, your corner speeds are about the same at these tight corners, you know, in all these tight spots like turn 1, you know, turn 11, turn 12, and the stadium section corners. So we're seeing that's the big difference you see between those two Dodges.
Well, as we've confirmed, Gar Robinson leading in TA. In XGT, it's Mark Austin in 5th overall, but leading that battle with Wang and Lowry. In GT, Coffey leads that, and he's 8th overall. Meanwhile, in SGT, Richard Forsyth leading in that group, and he is battling away with Michael LaPaglia, who's just overtaken him, incidentally. Now, LaPaglia up to 11th, and now leading SGT as we speak.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that battle's been going on the whole race between Michael and Richard, and two great competitors there. And you couldn't be in two different cars either, right? I mean, that is Ford versus Chevrolet, Ford Mustang versus Chevrolet Corvette. That's that great American muscle battle that we love of the Trans Am Series.
Well, the field has spread out dramatically, but of course it could all change if we get another safety car. We've avoided it so far, but we're over halfway now in this 30-lap race, and battles going on throughout, but it's pockets of battles. TA, XGT, GT and SGT all going at it as we go back to the production classes yet again at the top of the hill. Fighting it out hard, the 24.
I think that was some really courteous driving there, letting the door open to let a competitor by. That's either quicker, different class racing there, letting them have their own battle. As we're watching, just in the distance, as I saw there in the corner of my eye, a pretty fierce battle going in the GT classes back there. I couldn't tell exactly, but Michael LaPaglia was definitely inside that mix along with the Richard Forsyth. So it'd be interesting to see how that turned out. Looking here at Chris Coffey coming into turn 12 there with that beautiful traffic graphics, Maserati GT3 car, GT4 car, excuse me, as it comes through there. What a beautiful piece that is.
Yeah, he wrote the other one off at Road America, and this is basically a brand new Maserati for him. He's also got that new sponsor in Traffic Graphics, and you can see why they do what they do, because it stands out brilliantly as we go back on board with Gar Robinson. But still plenty of drama to come from this one. It's far from over. Gar Robinson trying to get away from Boris Said. And as hard as Gar Robinson is working it in the cockpit, he can't shake Boris Said. There's nothing between them. You can see it for yourself. This is about the most it's been, about a half a second at the moment. But as we come into 11, he should get a little bit of a slipstream. Great battle here also for third. And Rodgers, even though his lap's down, is wanting to race.
Yeah, he's definitely, you got to poke his nose in there on Wally Dallenbach Jr. in the Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger. Wally's going to concede to that now. Wally, the savvy driver Wally is, I'm sure he's going to sit there, get a little sniff here, get a little tuck. But if Will Rodgers has some pace here, go out and attack that number 8 car and pull him along with you for that last podium spot. So I look for that to be kind of a strategy that might be going through my good friend Wally Dallenbach Jr.'s head right now, as he's, go ahead and chase down that Will Rodgers. Let Will, with that pace he has, he's got fresh tires too, fresher than anybody's got out there. Point, yeah. As they went around and changed those. So this is going to be really interesting to see if he pokes a nose there on Tommy Dreese, how that turns out, and if that opens the door for Wally Dallenbach Jr. in that Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger by Weaver Racing, if that'll let it get that podium for the day.
biggest GT field we've had this season in 2023. Delighted to bring some of the West Coast boys here. As Tommy Dreesy, we're on board with him as he comes through 19. Been a good run for Tommy Dreesy. He's had some bad luck this year, but he's always good and he's always competitive. You just never know what's going to go wrong with a car.
When I won here in 2019, got a nice podium selfie with Tommy Dreesy because he was on the podium with us, and his whole family was up there with us, the wife and the kids, and it was really a pretty neat moment to be a part of. But just like I was kind of predicting here, Will Rodgers got pace. He's hunting down that number 8 Lucas Ford Mustang of Tommy Dreesy, and he could possibly just drag this number 4 Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger into that final podium space overall at NTA class.
You're looking at the MAV TV sponsored Lucas Oil number 8 of Tommy Dreesy, and we welcome you back because Robinson, Said and Dreesy are still going at it for the top 3 positions as we're on board with third place Tommy Dreesy from Hollywood, California, and he is every bit Hollywood as you can imagine.
The Hollywood Tommy, no, for sure. The Rockin' Moroccan, and all kinds of nicknames for the guy. He's fun to be around. He's a personality and a half for sure, and he brings a lot to this Trans Am paddock. Another one of those smiling faces you look forward to seeing on the weekends, quite honestly. He's been at the opposite end of the racetrack for me this weekend. I haven't been able to spend the time with Tommy Dreesy as I have in the past, but he's doing a good job holding steady now. He's pulled the gap on Wally Dallenbach Jr. sitting comfortably there with that final podium position is Tommy Dreesy.
Yeah, that damage to the front, I think he just hit the back of somebody else at one of the restarts or at the start of the race because it was early on when we noticed it, but it's not causing him any problems.
Damage on the nose of Tommy's car again.
What a surprise.
It's really, that's odd. I've rarely seen that, but no, Tommy is Tommy's not shy about, You
want to talk to a Bridget Lime Rock.
He's not shy about, the chrome horn with that blue chrome car that he's got.
Yeah, he ripped the chrome horn off at Lime Rock, that's for sure.
But he's been really patient today. I have been, kind of really impressed and admiring some of his patience that he has shown throughout the day here at Circuit of the Americas here for our Mission Foods Austin Speed Tour that we got going on here. As they head up the front straightaway, the great aerial shots that we have here from Greenlight TV all the way up into Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers, turn number 1.
Still one of my favorite turns in American, if not worldwide racing, this corner. This shot does not show you just how high they go. It's 133 feet from the bottom to the top. And as you go up, and you can confirm this, Adam, you can't see the apex at all.
No, you're blind to the apex. It flattens out, plateaus on top. So right when you need the help to get the thing to turn and to slow it down for that last little bit, the track falls away from you, and you desperately try and get it down to that apex. And then you fall down that hill, like you said, and you hit into turn 2. And then your entrance into the Bennett's Bridge Hall S's is very aggressive, very high commitment as you get into there for sure. And then you get down and you're finally you get a breath of air here as you get out of the S's and you come through, turn 10 down here into the Customer's Bank turn 11. As you pointed out, Jonathan Green, one of the most important corners on this track when it comes to lap time and racing, because you got to get off that corner, get down this long straightaway. It's uphill as you see here. We're going to climb, plateau, come down a little bit, level off, and then we're going to be downhill in the braking zone, which kind of gets to be a little bit tricky here because it wants to carry your speed. It's the opposite of turn 1, so you're going to come down here into the braking zone, into the Mission Foods Stadium section as we come off camera and come back to Michael Attaway in this beautiful Ford Mustang, leading SGT.
Yep, leading SGT, the Californian doing the business, and the man chasing him is right behind with the LED lights on to try and let him know, or try and put him off anyway. That's Richard Forsyth. He's in SGT in that Chevrolet Corvette, the Sambuca Restaurant G-Speed. I fancy a go at that place.
And someone we haven't really spoke a lot, Joey Da Silva. He's inside that Ave Motorsports prepared Toyota Supra, which is really cool to have out here. So we haven't seen that too much, and he's putting in a beautiful performance right there. It has a sniff of Richard Forsyth, so Forsyth cannot make a mistake, or he's going to have himself a Joey Da Silva to deal with.
Back on board with Gar Robertson as he heads up that hill. Now you see the angle I'm talking about. Now you see the fact that you can't see that apex until what, now?
Yeah, right. It definitely, this track rewards track time.
We're going to go on board with Gar. Why don't you take us through it?
Yeah, so he's coming right now into the Bennett's Bridge Hall. S's, as I said, big commitment as you really hard on throttle, downshifting here about midway through the S's, using up as much as you can, right? Trans Am rules allow us to use as much of this racetrack as possible without being too egregious with it. So you can see him cheat a little bit, right? Straddle those curbing. You're going to really cheat the inside here. And the last part of the S's, cheat this left-hander big time on the power. I don't go all the way far right just like Gar does because it's really bumpy over there. Staying easy flat through turn 10 as you come into customer bank turn 11. Look who's right back on the back bumper, as Boris said. Climbing right up the back of, and he got a little lock up there right at the end. Climbing right up the back of the 74 of Gar Robinson. They come out of that customer bank turn 11 down this long straightaway, up the hill a little bit there. Horsepower hill, as you call it. We'll come down the hill a little bit here, and you're going to climb right into this Mission Food Stadium section. Probably the most challenging little section of the track. This is what Adrian Newey refers to as the tiddly bits of Herman Tilke design. So the tiddly bits as we move through here now. Mission Foods Tiddly Bits.
Wow, that could be a new product for Gonzalez, I think. Mission Foods Kid Tiddly Bits.
Yeah, Tiddly Bits.
I like it.
I love it. Get Adrian on board, and it's a done deal. But the Dodge is really working through there. And I tell you what, as Boris said, would love nothing more than to steal this home victory away from Gar Robinson.
Well, he said at the beginning to Ben Sissel that he was planning on overtaking right from the get-go. He's had a little bit longer. There's only 10 to go, but he's right where he needs to be. No question about it. Boris said, putting on a show at 61, fantastic. I keep mentioning his age, but it just amazes me. Especially as his son's now racing against you.
And I love to see this for ECC Motorsports as well. And they don't do a full, Trans Am schedule anymore. To come in as little as they do and have the performances. I mean, AJ Hendrickson, just a brilliant performance, and at Worldwide Technology Raceway, just a couple races ago in this very car. And came here wanting to do the same thing here at Circuit of the Americas. He suffered some severe burns quite a few years ago in testing a TA car, a Cadillac, that they had inside their shop. Suffered a lot of burns. He has nerve damage on that hand now. And here at Circuit of the Americas, it's just so much the bumps and the undulations and how many. I mean, there's 20 turns here. It just really wore his hand out. He wanted to give his race team the best chance at a good run. They put Boris said the legend in there, and look at the shot they're getting right here. They got a shot at this win, Jonathan Green.
No question about it. Third place to Dreesy at the moment. We're still on board, and he's lost sight of the 2 leaders, but he's never given up. You can understand that. Dreesy wanted to finish his championship on a high. So it's Robertson, Said, and Dreesy. Dallenbach catching up. And we're watching Rodgers, but of course he's a lap down, and but he's enjoying himself racing with the TA guys. He said at the beginning that he wanted to show what these guys can do, especially in an XGT spec car against TA.
He's got the fight, right? He's out there to fight like he wants to, and like I said, he's got pace, on this 8 car, and I think they get to mix it up. Don't look now, but that Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger is right in that rear view mirror of Will Rodgers, and it's closing this gap as the time goes on. We still got 9 laps to circulate around this 3.4 mile circuit, Jonathan.
Yes, a long way to go yet, lest we forget. And Dreesy doesn't need to be embroiled in this little battle, this mini battle with Rodgers, but he's enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, the information should come to Tommy is not to make this fight too hard with the 32, right? This is not a fight for position. Don't get mistaken by that and then cause yourself this final podium spot, here. So this is...
Yeah, he's actually 2 laps down, just to confirm, that because that break he took to sort out the rear tyre, they replaced it and probably replaced all 4. But Rodgers isn't giving up, and he's taken the fight to Tommy Dreesy. But quite rightly, you point out that the battle really is with Dallenbach, and so he doesn't really want to waste his tyres in these last 8 laps messing around with the all-orange of Will Rodgers, who's just having a good day out here in the final race of the year. It's been a long 2023 season. It began back in Sebring back in February. We then went on to NOLA, Road Atlanta, and many others, and finally Rodgers does get through. But we've been across America's racing royalty when it comes to circuits, and he's going through everybody, is Rodgers.
So during our other stuff and the conversations and looking at all this, Wang has taken the XGT league, Jonathan Green. So we got Wang up in the XGT league, Danny Lowry, and I don't know what happened to Mark Austin, but he fell to 3rd in XGT.
So, yeah, we've had change around while you've been away because Wang has made a place up. And so we've got a good battle. He's 5th overall now. Dyson now back up to 6. Danny Lowry dropped down to 7. So that's where the battle at XGT is between Lowry and Wang. Dyson between them. And Dyson now trying to catch Wally Dollenbach in the last 8 laps. Here is Dollenbach. He's getting past from Idrisi, though. So that was a race for position, and Dollenbach is into the podium positions.
Beautiful job, Wally Dollenbach Jr. in the ultimate headers. Dodge Challenger, prepared by Pancho Weaver, had the engine out of this thing not but 12 hours or 24 hours ago, and preparing for no way. No, don't do that again. You're all by yourself, no battle. Have this lead going. Now here comes, we're looking for Danny Lowry to be coming through. Will Danny Lowry make his way through? There's Chris Dyson. Danny should be the next guy through. Will Wayne get out? And he does. He gets out in front of Danny, maintains that lead. Maintains that lead.
That's his second spin of the day.
That is. So it'd be pretty impressive. You know, he's trying to do his best Danny Sullivan, you know, the spin in the wind. Trying to knock that one out. Now, Danny didn't spin twice and win, so that'll be one step up.
Well, we're looking to see Lake doing a good job of holding that shot as long as we can to see where we can actually see the man behind him. But Wang just holding on. Lowry chasing him down in 7th overall, but the gap is coming down after that spin for sure. And we're running out of laps. 23 of the 30 done.
It is super slick. I can't even express how, you know, the sun is out here now, and when the sun beats on this track, it gets super slick, especially as much running as we've been doing here. And so this is not a surprise, you know, to see that the back ends are pretty happy in these race cars. At this late stage, too, we're starting to get the latter stages here with 7 laps to go as we're working lap 23 of 30.
Yep, and of course, as the fuel load comes down, that also helps and adds to that as well. A little bit of tail happiness.
For sure, absolutely. And, you know, the other battles seem to be pretty solid as Chris Coffey is again in GT class, got a comfortable lead. Michael Attaway and Richard Forsyth are still going at it. But, you know, there's 4.7 seconds between those two, so I don't see that really being a huge battle. Joey Da Silva, he's going to be in second right now in the GT class. And then Ricky Saunders, he's also in XGT, pulling up P4 and XGT 13th overall.
Be interested to see if Idrisi can get back on level turns with Wally Dollenbach before the end of this race. But you can see the gap that Dollenbach has pulled out since he passed him on the back straight.
I feel like Tommy was losing forward drive. You know, he hasn't had the top speed down the straightaway either as well. So I'm wondering if he's got a little bit of an illness underneath the hood there that's causing them. You know, if you don't handle down the straightaways, Jonathan Green here at, you know, Circuit of the Americas, Horsepower Hill. There's a reason why they call it Horsepower Hill. Yeah. You need to have the horsepower to get up over that hill, and if you're sacrificing any of that, you're going to be sitting here struggling. But Tommy Idrisi still doing what he's doing best, holding a pretty steering wheel, and he's going to, you know, ride this thing home, possibly P4 here. I think Wally Dollenbach Jr. has gone ahead and set sail, and the gap is pretty big now between Gar Robinson and the 79 of Borisset as things start to settle down here, just circulating the final laps.
Be a pretty impressive ex-champion podium, wouldn't it? Robinson, Said, and Dollenbach.
Yeah, I tell you,
about a history of Trans Am.
That could have been 30 years ago.
Yeah, good. Here's Rodgers again.
You know, this is it's quite special. So yeah, Will Rodgers went and showed what that thing can do, and it looks like they're going to live to fight another day and bring this thing in and retire at Chris Evans Motorsports here. But hats off to you, men and women there at Chris Evans Motorsports. You brought in a great piece. It just the luck wasn't on your side today, and you showed the speed, that the potential that this class and these cars can have, and we look forward to seeing you more in the future.
Yep. Game over then for Will Rodgers. He's had a good weekend here from the West Coast, and it's great to have so many West Coasters coming here to race in the National Championship, and we welcome them to the series on the national level next year if they want to come. Chris Coffey in the 97, 9th overall at the moment and leading the way in GT.
Woo, big power slide out of the 74 coming out of the Customer's Bank turn 11. So, you know, Gar Robinson is not leaving anything on the table, but he is here to set down the laps and just make a statement as he has pulled this gap now on the 79 Engineer Components Dodge Challenger.
Through goes the leader of TA on the leader of GT.
And you can see where the GT cars make their lap time, right?
Yeah.
Under the braking and in corner speed. The TA cars just don't have that kind of agility. But where the TA cars outhandle every GT car on the planet is down a straight line.
Yeah, this is an interesting track to see production versus the prototypes, effectively, or the tube frame cars, because obviously the grunt is there in these TA cars, but the twiddly bits, as you mentioned earlier, and a lot of slow corners as well, and that's where the production cars shine, especially the Maseratis and the Mercedes.
Yeah, for sure. And this is we don't have a lot of Porsches here,
no.
But this is also a wonderful track for that brand as well. The Lamborghini, obviously at the hands of Wang, is performing quite well. Both those Mercedes-Benz that we see out of Danny Lowry and Mark Austin obviously are doing a fantastic job. Then we got to see the American muscle of the C7 Corvette and the Mustang, and the current generation Mustang out there doing their business, and Chris Coffey out there representing the European brands with that Maserati. As we look at Michael Attaway, comes right on cue here for this Ford Mustang. That's prepared by Adrian Vlastowski's crew there. That's sitting under Fast Motorsports tent. A great group there and a great addition to this paddock, as we spoke about many. But Forsyth, not that far behind. This could still be a battle, as there's still 5 laps left in this race, and this is Trans Am racing, Jonathan. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. Forsyth in 11th at the moment, LaPaglia in 10th. Here's that battle again as we go back with Forsyth. He's taking the headlights off now.
Yeah, well, this is the 58. Forsyth doing his thing and trying to gain that gap and maybe use a little bit of the TA cars, maybe mixing it with his competitor up there might help bring it back to have it a little bit of a manageable gap. But we seem to have pretty big gaps throughout all our classes, to where there's really not, it seems like the podiums seem to be set throughout these classes, as they're just trying to bring it home with 5 laps left. Now it's just going to be slick, greasy, and it's about just keeping these things straight. As we saw from Wang, anything can happen.
Yeah, SGT led by LaPaglia goes off into the distance, and in a moment you'll see Joey De Silva and Ricky Saunders. They're battling in 12th and 13th, but it's GT versus XGT. Back with Dreesy.
And I can't say enough, too, about, again, watching my teammate up there, in P3, taking that last podium spot. Wally Dallenbach Jr. in that Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger. We got the Lucas Ford Mustang here, MAV TV on board with Tommy Dreesy. This has been a beautiful livery all year long. You always look forward to what liveries that Tommy Dreesy is going to bring, and I look forward to 2024 for a lot of reasons, but one of those reasons, to see what Tommy Dreesy brings is a livery.
Well, he used to, because he does work in the film industry, and he used to distribute movies, and he put the logo of the movie on the side of the car, whether it be Terminator or whatever the movie was that summer. And so that was always fun for a couple of races to see his new side up. Now, here's the number 16 of Chris Dyson. He's made it all the way back up to 5th place. He's behind Tommy Dreesy on track, but the gap is considerable. It's some 30 seconds or so.
Let's just say this was a weekend that Chris Dyson probably would like to just go ahead and forget. Go ahead and log that one away as what it is. He sealed this championship up already back at VIR, so this was a done deal. So this wasn't the performance that we're used to seeing out of the 3-time champion. But if you count him out for 2024, you do that at your own peril. This team, the CD Racing, will come back stronger than ever next year. They're going to go to work this winter. I can promise you to make sure that they are all sorted and come back and defend this championship with honor like they've done the 2 previous times.
Jim Weeds, those colors, the purple, the white, the 16, and the Jim Weed sponsorship on that Ford Mustang have been synonymous with this 2023 season. And there's been thousands of photographs from our excellent photographers throughout the season. We'll see more tonight at the gala. And it's a big gala dinner tonight to celebrate the whole season and hand out the prizes. And I know that Chris Dyson will be absolutely tickled pink to pick up that 3rd title. And I think in some ways he argued that was a bit of a moment. He argued that this was the hardest one in many ways, because even though on paper it looked hard, he's been swapping chassis throughout this season, trying to get that Riley where he wants it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of challenges. They at the end of 2022, when they sealed up the championship, they moved on to the Ave Riley program with the new Ave Riley chassis, Ave AV3 or AR3, I believe is what they're calling it. And so they found electrical struggles, a lot of it. Matthew Brown's come in and done some developing, and Matthew's found a little bit of luck in the car, won the season opener at Sebring in it. So it's just really been not necessarily the cut and dry year, for Chris Dyson as maybe 2022 was. So 2023 was a fight for him all the way here to the end. So like I said, he'll come back stronger than ever, next year, and we'll see CD Racing doing what they do best, and that's fight for this championship.
So confirmation, Robinson said the gap 6.8 seconds. I don't think that's going to change, but here's the Mercedes line and stern. The two Mercedes going at it. Danny Lowry in the 43 and the 11. Lowry in 7th overall. Mark Austin in XGT as well in 8th. So that's a good little battle in XGT between those two. But they're both chasing Wang in 6th position. He's leading in XGT.
And this is a great battle forming up here between Lowry and Mark Austin in the XGT battle. Still don't know what happened to Mark Austin. He was handily leading this thing, missing it up there at the top there. So don't know what mistakes came about to him, or there's been a lot. It's been a tricky condition day today, Jonathan Green. So he might have spun or found himself off track a little bit. That cost him the time, because he was in a commanding lead at one point of this event in XGT, and right now he's battling for that 2nd place position with Danny Lowry.
Running out of laps, but the two Mercedes going at it in XGT. Out of 18 they come, one in red, one in blue, and there's nothing between them as closing in now. Austin looking for a way past, and if he doesn't do it here at 20, he's going to have a pop at him, I'm sure, up the hill towards turn 1. Here we go.
You got to get that drive off of turn 20. It looks like Mark Austin did get a good drive, but Daniel Lowry didn't let the grass grow under his feet either. He got himself on the gas pedal and the loud pedal quite early, and he's going to climb up this hill and to keep that position protected from Mark Austin's attack as we look at with 3 to go here.
Yeah, don't forget the hula girl in the front of Lowry's car. She's bouncing from side to side, playing her little mandolin.
You get a lot of action with the hula girl around Circuit of the Americas, let me tell you.
Under the bridge and through the S's again. Just 2 to go after this. And nip and tuck between these two. They are on song.
This is our battle on the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen at home. So this, for our race fans at home, as that's a big lunge from Mark Austin. He thinks better of it, backs out, and lives to fight another day to try and get that position at another area on the track. That is a low percentage move there.
Yeah, I was about to say, that wasn't a good lunge because he's lost time.
Yeah, so it's that's you could gain a run through somebody there if they make a mistake at the end of the S's, and you can make that pop. But they really have to make a pretty big, egregious error there. And again, coming out of this turn 11, this Customers Bank turn 11, to fly ourselves up Horsepower Hill and get into the Mission Food Stadium section, that's really where Mark Austin seems to shine. He gets through the tiddly bits a little bit better than his competitor up in front of him.
So 28 of the 30 done. It's been an absolute brilliant display by Gar Robinson. We're watching, as we would, this battle for XGT for the podium. Wang up the road in 6th overall, but this battle for 7th and 8th between Danny Lowry, who's the regular, and Mark Austin, who's done some of the races but not all. Chris Coffey leading in GT. He's in 9th overall. LaPaglia lead. Oh, no! Round goes the number 11.
Mark Austin again. So that might have been, that again, it's been really, really slick and greasy, and it seems like the XGT cars are lacking the most support. And for XGT cars, they do have a lot of the things that you're used to having in your road car. For example, analog brakes, and a certain amount of it's a race programmed traction control and stability control. So I think sometimes you can rely on those a little bit too much, but the laws of physics can't be rewritten by those programs, and they're exceeding the laws of physics and spinning there. Who's not exceeding the laws of physics is doing it just right is my buddy here, Wally Dallenbach Jr. in this Ultimate Headers Dodge Challenger. I guarantee you he is grinning from ear to ear, doing such an awesome job as you imagine from this man. And I know my car owner, my good buddy John Cloud down there is also got a big smile from ear to ear watching the performance of his 2 race cars here today.
He's going to see the white flag fairly soon, but Dallenbach rolling back the years, just as Boris said is doing too. Gar Robinson, just 28 years of age, but already got 2 championships under his belt. He left Trans Am and went on to IMSA, and he's been hugely successful there at the sharp end again in 2023, but decided to come back for the one-off and race the Riley chassis in honor of his dad in many ways, because those were the colors of his dad. And Wally Dallenbach, as always, for Ultimate Headers, given a chance by John Cloud to race, and he gets that chance and takes it. And you can see the Ultimate headers on the side. What do they do, the Ultimate headers? I presume headers.
Yeah, they do custom headers for all your needs, all your automotive needs. Big in the hot rod industry. They have a patented manifold attachment. That's how you instantly know that it's an Ultimate headers. We are running Ultimate headers on our TA2 car, so it's awfully cool to get to have a sponsor in the car. We're actually using the product, and they do phenomenal work. And any of your header needs, they could do one-off custom pieces, measure your car specifically, do exactly what you're looking for, and they build horsepower. As you see, Gar has no problem putting that horsepower down, gets a little wiggle, and fires up horsepower hill.
How much do your tires go off in TA? You've got all that power, and surely you must be putting a lot through the Pirelli.
Yeah, here at Circuit of the Americas, you're going to go through the tire. It's a tire management. I'm honestly seeing that's maybe what Gar was doing when we saw the battle so close between Boris Said and Gar Robinson was, maybe a little bit of tire management. Gar was really good at that in the Big Machine Vodka Spiked Coolers TA2 series when he won his 2 championships. So I think he's definitely carrying those lessons over to the bigger cars. And what a great job. I mean, you can't say enough about what the young man has done here today and this weekend. And he's carried this pace, and they come prepared. They come setting themselves up for success. Gar just didn't jump in the TA car this weekend. Won his first time driving one. They went and they tested, made sure that things are ready and that there's no surprises. So they do. The Robinsons are really smart at setting themselves up for the best chance of success. But you still have to execute, and that's something that Gar has shown throughout his career. He's very good at executing the plan, and as he comes down the start-finish line here, I believe, is this for the white flag?
No, it hasn't come out yet, so that's interesting. Oh, no, there's the white flag. Yeah, sorry.
White flag's
White
out.
flag, last lap then.
Yeah, we'll circulate the last lap here for this young man.
Keep forgetting, because the checkered flag is always at the front, but now it's been moved for Trans Am, and Gar Robinson picks up that white flag. 1 to go then for the mighty Gar Robinson. And the local man from Austin, we had Riley Dickinson here a few weeks ago doing the business in Carrera Cup, a local man from Austin, or just down the road a little bit, in Buda, and
I'm going to tell you,
outside Kyle.
No, I tell you, it's going to make Gar smile so big, not only winning this race, but to share a podium with Wally Dallenbach Jr.
I know.
This is the person that has been in Gar's life his entire life. George Robinson and Wally Dallenbach Jr. are the best of friends, and they hunt together, they fish together, they laugh together, eat great food together. So I mean, it's just it's a big happy family here. So he's going to have a lot of enjoyment, a lot of great memories that he's making here. Just has to keep that wheel nice and steady. He's got himself a massive 5.5 second lead over Boris Said, and just bring this thing home.
Down the back straight for the last time then. Gar Robinson. What a day for him. He picked the colours of the car of his dad, George, and he said, this is like as close to my dad as I can possibly get, racing here at home. Friends and family are here to celebrate it. It's been a great weekend. I read the press release last night. He said, we're just having a ball here right now. And he's concluded it with a win, and that's all he could ask for. And he's a great character, his Gar. I saw him earlier in the day and congratulated him on the pole position. No mean feat to jump into any other championship that you're not in, regardless of your pedigree in the past. But he jumped straight onto it, took the pole over guys that have been doing it all season long. And he's now about to complete it. Just a few quarters to go. He's going to hold off the mighty Boris Said, one of the greats of all time here in the USA. And, of course, Wally Dallenbach Jr. Here he comes, out of 19.
Yeah, he's got to just navigate turn 20, 90-degree left. He'll make that hit, nail the apex, nail the throttle. Look at the big power slide, do it in style. George Anderson Robinson coming to get that checker flag. Gar, you did it. You're a Trans Am winner. You've won in both classes, TA, Big Machine, Vodka Spike Coolers, TA2 series. That's in rare air. Congratulations.
Yeah, so he is another guy that's won in TA and TA2. We've had one back-to-back in VIR. Connor Zilic did it. Here comes Wang to win in XGT. That's Xuan Quin Wan in the number 22 from the West Coast in that Lamborghini. And Gar coming down to a slowdown, but really enjoying it. And now he's going to do some burnouts in the Pirellis. But what a great race that was. First place, Gar Robinson. Boris Said second, and Wally Dallenbach third.
Yeah, this is...
So, as you can see, they pull out to the
this is
support paddock.
Yep, turn 5 is where they peel us off. He'll go right to Tech, and then he'll hop on a golf cart, and they'll rip him right down to the podium for the ceremony. Watch the battle. Here's Forsyth.
Oh, Lapaglia just holds off Forsyth.
Boy, this is wild back and forth. You got to be a little careful with those moves, Michael. But a great run there right at the end. That GT race.
There comes Wang.
And Wang comes home in that leading or winning an XGT. 5th overall is Wang. Really great run by him. Danny Lowry's going to come in 2nd. Mark Austin in 3rd in XGT. Chris Coffey winning GT. We watched Michael Attaway and Richard Forsyth. Richard Forsyth set the fastest lap of his race.
I know, that's amazing.
On the last
lap.
Wow. So he was definitely putting in the fight all the way to the end. But great racing all the way through. As we also look, I said, Chris Coffey, Joey De Silva, and Todd Naparowski round out your GT podium as well.
Yeah, Coffey doing the business in that one. 9th overall.
So really good racing all the way throughout.
Yeah.
And what would you expect? We had 25 cars out there, 26 cars, and it did not disappoint Jonathan Green. And a big thanks. We're going to get to celebrate, as you mentioned, the Trans Am year at our gala tonight. But a huge thanks to all the men and women of the Trans Am series. Pirelli Motorsport Holding, you make it just a magical place to be, a wonderful place to race, and we can't thank you enough, and for all the time and sacrifices away from home, and to be here at Circuit of the Americas to celebrate it all tonight is going to be great and special.
Yeah, and there's lots to tell you about. Boris said winning the Masters, of course, as well as getting 2nd place overall. XGT, the 11 winning in that. That's Mark Austin. And in the National Championship, and Wang in the Western Championship. And we welcome our viewers back on MAV TV as we conclude our TA feature race of the final day of the Trans Am Series for 2023. Here's the results. Confirmation then of Gar Robinson and 74 Ranch Resort with a win in TA, and he's been a winner in TA and TA2, just like Connor Zilic. Boris said takes 2nd. Wally Dollenbach in 3rd, a great run from the back. Chris Dyson in the end finished 4th, having had that spin into the gravel. Joaquin Wan, the top man in the West Coast, and also leading the XGTs, but in 6th place it's Mark Austin. Danny Lowry 7th, Tommy Dreesy in 8th. Chris Coffey leads the GT crew in the Maserati in 9th position. Michael Attaway leads in SGT and wins in SGT ahead of Richard Forsyth. Good little finish to that one. And also Joey De Silva in the GTs. Naparowski, Hampton, Meynet, Ricky Saunders in 16th. Larry Luck in 17th. And then Sharakanian in 18th position. Joe Bogadich in 19th. And Brandon Westenberg in 20th. And a little further down, Michael Attaway, part of our regular crew for the National Championship. Michelle Nagai from the West Coast. Will Rodgers, likewise, after that problem in the pits and the rear suspension and tyre, down in 23rd. Milton Grant, a regular in SGT, and Jack Rinke going out with suspension early on. Wow, catch your breath. Another great 100-mile race, and a great way to finish the season off with a bumper field. And probably the most GT cars we've had all season long. And I would have thought that would have been a good place to get a view of it, up at the tower there. Little fella, I don't know if I'd be up there at his age.
It was the best view of this track for sure.
Yeah.
From up there.
He's not scared, is he?
You can't really find a bad spot to spectate here when they
Yeah, can everybody hear me? I am so sorry, but we have just actually lost commentary, lost Jonathan and Adam in the booth. We are here at the SpeedTour tent at Winner's Circle, but the operations here are a little bit different. The cars, drivers will then get onto golf carts and come down here, and it's about a mile and a half golf cart ride down here. So I'm so sorry that we've lost contact with our commentators, but we've got a lot of the teams here waiting and talking. So if we want, let's come over here while the drivers come in, and we'll talk to John Cloud and Poncho. And so John, we've lost the commentators, so we're going to talk. And man, great performance there. Wally Dallenbach starting from the back and now coming into third place. That's got to feel really good.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's the best finish we've had this year in Trans Am, and Adam had the best finish we've had in TA2. So it's a really, really good high note to end the year on, and I'm just so pleased with these guys and the team and the way these guys prepare these cars. And then Poncho for letting us use that car for this race because ours wasn't ready. A very, very gracious man, and much appreciated. So we'll see more of that with Ultimate Headers next year. But great team, great effort, and I like to surround myself with quality people, and I think I've done a good job of that. So nice. I appreciate it. And you're a quality guy. Tony's a quality guy, and I'm just tickled pink.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, John Cloud. Poncho Weaver, hey, buddy. 2 and 3 there. With Boris said in the yeah, exactly.
19 we won this race, and 21 we won this race. Last year we set a new track record, and this year another podium. So Wally did a wonderful job. You know, we were hit with adversity this whole weekend. We lost a rear end gear on the first day, and then the engine was a little iffy, so we changed it. And you know, and trying to get the driver comfortable. Every driver has a little bit different feel, so you got to give them what they really need. You know, and it takes a crew. This crew did it. Thanks to John Cloud.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, Poncho. Well, the drivers are here. JC Monet's coming through. Not sure where he's going. But let's come talk to the drivers because that was exciting. Something really cool that Adam was talking about is that we've come full circle. George Robinson and your good friend Wally Dallenbach Jr. Wally, you guys have competed against each other for a long time, and now you're competing against his son.
Well, both of our sons are racing this weekend, which is really, really cool. Our family spent a lot of time with each other. I've known George a long time, and we've been good buddies, you know, since 86, 87 and there. So this is a blast being at the racetrack with our kids and watching them race and us getting to have a little fun.
Yeah, George, how cool is it to see your son winning again here in your home state of Texas, but in your livery?
Well, one of the best things I've seen, and I figured out last night, all the history I've had with Riley for 20-something years, running many, many Riley cars, this was the first time he's driven a Riley. Isn't that something? I mean, that's a big deal for our family and the Riley family to have Gar win in his first Riley ever.
First Riley effort there in TA. How does it feel? You know, your dad's been talking about TA, and all of his friends kind of came from that class. Now you get to go, you know, you've done a long time in TA2 cars, but everybody's talked about these beasts of these TA cars. How's it feel?
You know, I've gone a lot of different places after I finished in TA2, and you know, it's always held a special place in my heart, being able to being part of the Trans Am Club and carrying that with me for wherever I go. And I mean, being able to race against guys that my dad, like Wally and Boris and Dyson in a Riley car, it's like the best game of play your dad ever. And I just can't. There's no real words to describe how it is. I mean, I'm gonna do the best I can, but I'm sure I'll butcher it. But being able to continue the legacy and stuff that my dad and the Rileys and everyone in Trans Am started back in the 90s is just something that I hold real deep in my heart. And today it's a lot more special than a lot of people put together.
And dude, as your friend, so proud of you. That was so cool to watch. Nice job. And then not only that, but you have some battles out there with Boris. That had to be so cool.
Being able to battle against Boris is, I mean, how many times do people get to say they battle against Boris? It's an honor. And
what about this, man? How weird was that? Was it just like going out there with George again?
No, I was hoping I was meeting his old man, but then I look at the young guy. But he's a wheel man just like his old man. And we had a really fun race for a while. Unfortunately, I broke a valve spring with about 12 to go, so I couldn't keep chasing him. But I kept him honest for a while.
I know you've raced with a lot of legends, but have you ever, had some kissing and some contact on the track with legends like Boris?
I mean, I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big kissing my legends kind of guy, but
Don't kiss me, but you can hit
I'll hit you a little bit.
Yeah, he's been known to nut tap Justin Marks coming out of this thing.
No kissing racing, we hit.
Do you have fun, Gar?
Best day ever.
Well, welcome back to Trans Am, man. I love seeing it. Jonathan, I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Great stuff, Ben, as always. And yes, you can see the camaraderie between those guys there, drivers, teams, and both old and new, as they say. But great celebrations and a great race for Gar Robinson. Flag to flag. It doesn't get any better than that. And pole position to boot. So, as we look high above the Circuit of the Americas, we've got more SpeedTour action to come as the afternoon continues. We've got a few more races for you as things start to settle down. And we've got some action from, Group 1B, and we've also got some action from Group 6, 12, and Group 10. And don't forget, highlights of both TA2 and TA will be on Thursday, Trans Am night on MAV TV. And it all starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, November 9th. TA2 Series highlights, the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 Series. And then the TA, XGT, SGT, and GT, this race you've just watched, November 9th, same night, the following hour. So 2 hours back-to-back of great MAV TV Trans Am presented by Pirelli action. Let's head now to Ben Sissel as the podium is about to begin.
Okay. All right, Austin, Texas. Let's get loud. The Mission Foods Austin SpeedTour. All right, this is my group right here. Come on in here. Get in the middle here, guys. Come on now. Get around here. Come on now. There we go. This is going to be a ton of fun. The Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli at Circuit of the Americas. Welcome to Jim Weed Winner's Circle here at Circuit of the Americas. I need you guys to get loud because we've got all kinds of hats and things to throw out, give away to people. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. This is Winner's Circle. So, Austin, are you guys ready to have some fun? All right. I kind of feel like there's some people here from 74 Ranch Resort, possibly. Nice. I like it. Keep it up. All right, we're going to start with GT, National Series. 74, help me out, get loud. Third place, Todd Naporowski. Where is Todd? There he is, here he comes. In second place, making a cameo appearance in SVRA Group 6 yesterday in that white Toyota Supra. Let's hear it, Joey De Silva. Here he is, nice. You scared me in yesterday's race. And then in first place from the Lone Star State, let's hear it, Chris Coffey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I'm hearing a lot of woos out there, but show them how it's done there. Woo! Nice! Little Ric Flair, woo! All right, Naporowski, fun race out there. How was it? Welcome back to the series.
Gosh, this is great to be back. It's been such a long time, and I can't remember when it was the last time at a podium. But great race, great track. Crew really helped me with the car, get me comfortable in the car, and we had a great race with Dave. Wonderful, thank you.
Nice. Todd Naporowski, ladies and gentlemen, third place. So I'm announcing the Group 6 race yesterday. There's two GT 350s and then a Supra. And you'll hear me in the announcing going, is that a Supra? You made a cameo in yesterday's appearance, but great appearance here in Trans Am. How was it for you?
It was a lot of fun. Running with you guys is amazing, and I hope to be here in the future.
Nice, I love it. Did you guys like seeing a Toyota Supra out there in the Trans Am Series? Nice, I love it. So, Joey, hope you're back. Anybody you want to thank?
My parents, my coach, my team, Ave Motorsports, and all my mechanics, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Nice, I love it. Let's hear it. Joey DeSilva there. And then Chris Coffey from Texas. Take the mic. Tell us about your race.
Well, that was a hard-fought battle there at the beginning. We got a little bit of traffic between me and Joey here, and it took everything I could to keep him behind me, and it was just an absolute blast. I had to push so hard at both restarts. It was just an absolute blast. And I just want to thank all these guys, all the West Coast guys for coming out, and really want to see more GT class entries. It's pretty awesome. This weekend we had more entries than any other classes out there, so let's keep that going into next year.
Nice. I love it. All right, come on now, get loud. Todd Naparowski, Joey DeSilva, Chris Coffey. Hold up those trophies, gentlemen. Get some photos here. All right, now Eric is going to give out some hats. Speaking of, who wants a Motul hat? Anybody want to throw out some Motul hats, drivers? Here you go. See what kind of arm you got. Silva, grab a Motul hat there. There we go. Come on now. Oh, the tall guy gets it. Look at that. So you got to get loud for some Motul hats. Very power 80s hats they are. All right, come on, Texas, one more time. Todd Naparowski, Joey DeSilva, Chris Coffey in GT. Watch out for the champagne. See what they do here. Come on now. All right, 74. Keep it up. Keep up the energy now. Come on now. Nice job, GT guys. All right, Super GT. Whoa, Chris, you all right? Yeah. Did you get it in your eye? Yeah. He needs one of those sticks now. In second place from Memphis, Tennessee, Super GT. Let's hear it. Milton Grant. Where is Milton? Come on now, Milton. Come on, crowd. Is Milton here? All right. Not here yet. In first place. He also got first place with us just a few weeks ago at Worldwide Technology Raceway in that beautiful Corvette from the Lone Star State. Let's hear Richard Forsyth. Get up on that top step, Richard. The G-Speed Corvette. Well, this has got to feel pretty good, 2 in a row.
Oh my God, what an amazing race. We were having huge gearbox issues, and my team, G-Speed, never let me down. It was a new setup we had tried, and I want to thank G-Speed for all the work they've done. Those guys are amazing. They have the most amazing skills, and they never let me down. And our other sponsors, Sambuca Restaurant and the new Rayleigh we're opening, and Lewis and Corey and Jason and Dakota, all you guys, this one is for you. You guys rock.
Nice. G-Speed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Richard Forsyth. Come on now. Richard, congratulations. I'm going to change the hats. Don't let me get in your way. What you doing here? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Forsyth from the Lone Star State of Texas in a Chevrolet Corvette. Oh, well, you can enjoy the champagne if you'd like. Oh, I think he's about to spray. There we go. Come on now, Richard Forsyth. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Super GT. All right, Richard, congratulations. Nice job. Enjoy that champagne. Gar Robinson, I'm going to make you bring all this crew to every race. This is amazing. Extreme GT. Ladies and gentlemen, in Pro-Am, Extreme GT. Let's hear it. Ricky Sanders. Where is Ricky Sanders? Come on, Ricky. Ricky, jump up here. You're going to stay up here. Let him through. Come on now. Let's hear it. Ricky Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. In second place, and our XGT champion this year. Let's hear it. Danny Lowry
Where's Danny Lowry? Here he comes, nice, in that Bridge Hall AMG. And this was the battle to watch the last 10 races. And I believe from Austin, Texas, last name Austin. Let's hear it for the Joker, Mark Austin. Ladies and gentlemen, first place. Where is he? Here he comes. I wish you'd have brought that helmet, the coolest helmet in motorsports. But you are from Austin, is that right? Yes. Mark Austin from Austin. So we're going to talk to Ricky Saunders first in Pro-Am. Ricky, how's it feel out there?
We struggled a little bit today. We had a transmission issue, but we still just did the best we could with it and had some fun. So we came in and finished, so that's the main thing. So I got to thank Danny for letting me use the car, all the sponsorship this year, Bridge Hall, Bennett, all the crew guys. We got Sweet Cheeks, Garrett, Tyler, Jason, all the guys in the crew.
Nice. I love it. Ricky Saunders, let's hear it. Where's Sweet Cheeks? Where's Sweet Cheeks? Raise your hand. There he is. There's Sweet Cheeks. We were watching your battle there the last 10 laps. A few little spins, a few mishaps, but an AMG competition nonetheless. Danny, how's it feel to be back up on the steps and to be the XGT champ?
Well, you know, Ben, it always feels good to be up here on this podium and definitely to win the championship. But, you know, we waited till the last race of the year to have the best field all year for XGT. So thank you for everyone that came out and run XGT. Had a fantastic race with Mark and Ricky and Wang. I mean, these guys, they were really better than I was. But the way it turned out, hey, I ended up on the podium. I'll take it.
I love it. Danny Lowry, ladies and gentlemen, Bennett Bridge Hall. Let's hear it. Now, Mark Austin, I hope you don't mind me saying this because you've been away from Trans Am for a while. We've missed you. But, man, have you gotten fast. Take the mic. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, we had a really great race. Thanks, everybody. We a little bad luck. We were leading the whole thing with XGT, and I was having a ball staying up with the big boys watching them fight until we cut a tire down. So the Lone Star Racing team to get the tire changed that fast to get me back out. Amazing. Best team there is. JG Roofing, 1492 Coach Works, thank you. It's fun to be back here at Trans Am and headed home and take a win. And there's no better racetrack around, so thank you guys, thank you.
Nice. Let's hear it. Mark Austin from Austin. Come on now, come on Texas, get loud. Ricky Saunders, Danny Lowry, Mark Austin. Mark, welcome back to Trans Am. There we go. There we go, nice. They're fighting for the hats. I love it. One more time, Texas. Come on now. Ricky Saunders, Danny Lowry, Mark Austin. Hey, and Danny, your daughter did a great job on the start command, so that was a lot of fun. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Come on, Texas. How's Lando doing? Come on, Texas. Get loud. Right in the eyes of Ricky Saunders. I love it. Is Willie T still around? Willie T, get up here, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Trans Am legend here in the house. Willie T, you got to help us out with this presentation. Let's hear it for Willie T. Ribs. Come on now. He's about to bring up some of his friends, some of his former competitors. How cool is this? We saw him here in the Pride. Get up here, Willie. I hate and love to do this. So you're a little reunited with Boris Said. Watching this again in your home state, this has got to feel pretty good.
Well, I was just here for Formula One. I work for Formula One now, and I was just here a few weeks ago with them. But always coming here is great and seeing old friends, especially Wally. Wally was my teammate in 1985. Okay, there's a lot of people that weren't born that are in the audience here.
That's awesome. Well, Willie, you're looking so sexy. Would you mind being our trophy presenter for this presentation here? That'd be all right.
Hey, I got a mini skirt in the car.
We can do that. Yeah. I think I would love to see Willie T. Ribs in a mini skirt.
No, baby.
No, baby. Let's hear it for Willie T. Ribs, ladies and gentlemen. Because, Willie, we are about to bring up your friend, your teammate, Wally Dallenbach Jr. Come on, Texas, get loud. Look at this reunion here. How cool is the Trans Am history right here?
Oh, no, we got some great stories.
Oh, and that you're not going to hear.
Yeah, we would have to censor most of those stories. How cool is that, man? That is awesome. Willie, thanks for doing this. I'm sorry to call you out, but no, stay up here. You can't go just yet. Because in second place, another Trans Am legend, ladies and gentlemen, Boris Said. Let's see who the race fans are. Who said? Nice, I love it. Boris Said. And then Trans Am history, Trans Am legend, two-time TA2 champion, first time in TA 74 Ranch Resort. Let's hear it. Gar Robinson. And Willie, that's got to be a little bit weird because it looks like you're looking right at George Robinson.
No, actually, when Boris and I and Wally were racing, he wasn't even thought about, let alone born. I feel old, baby.
I love it. Willie T, such an honor to have you here, man. Such a legend. Thank you so much. Wally, starting from the back, your team worked all night long. Poncho Weaver and the whole Cobra crew, everybody pitching in, and now you're up here on the podium.
Didn't expect it. Really appreciate all those guys' hard work. We blew an engine. We didn't get any practice. We threw everything, 9 different things at the car, and let's see what happens. But I got to thank them for their hard work. And John and Debbie Cloud, we were supposed to have our new car here by now, and Poncho stepped up and John stepped up, and I'm just glad to be here racing with all these guys because this is more fun than I've ever had.
Nice, more fun than he's ever had. Let's hear it. Wally Dallenbach Jr. Hey, not to call you out, but just the other night, 2 nights ago, I was watching Talladega Nights. Nice job in that too, Wally Dallenbach. Come on, let's hear it. Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. Boris, take the mic. I mean, you've been fighting George Robinson for 10 years. Now you're fighting Gar Robinson. This has got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it did. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I love driving these cars, and he's a good wheelman just like his daddy was. And I thought I had him today, but unfortunately we had a little motor problem at the end. Cost us a shot at it, but still a lot of fun racing. And, we have a little small team with Steve and AJ and Steve's son and Christina and Jen. They just do a great job, so a lot of fun driving these cars.
Nice. Boris Said, ladies and gentlemen, 74, get loud. Come on now. Gar Robinson, take the mic. I love the chili peppers, very nice.
Does he know everybody here?
He knows the whole state of Texas. Boris just said, does he know everybody here? Yeah, he has an entourage. Gar, tell us about your race.
That was probably in all of my starts of motorsports. That was my favorite start ever. A lot of the stuff that I drive that you go to the throttle and it just, but this thing actually like kicks your ass right from the get-go. But I mean, these are the most fun cars to drive, and being able to drive against all the guys that my dad used to drive against, and just all the legends, and be a part of it, and it's just and be able to have it with all my friends and family that come. I don't even have to do the hi to my friends and family at home Scott Pruitt line either. But I mean, extending the relationship with myself, my family, and the Riley Motorsports, and all that just in Trans Am is this has been the best day ever.
Nice. I love it. Best day ever. All right, crowd, let's get loud. Wally Dallenbach Jr., Boris Said, Gar Robinson. All right, Texas, one more time. Get loud, get proud. Wally Dallenbach Jr., Boris Said, Gar Robinson, winning in his first TA race. All right, now where's George? Where's George Robinson? All right, come on, another Trans Am legend, ladies and gentlemen. George Robinson, trying to bring him up for the champagne. Not gonna happen, I guess. All right, wait, don't go too far. George, oh, there we go. All right, George, get up here. Hurry up, George. Run up here. All right, hold on, guys. We got to get a little picture here. Where's Willie? Did Willie disappear? All right, get one picture here, Chris Clark, if you don't mind. George, get in there. Another Trans Am legend, ladies and gentlemen. George Robinson. Got to get a family photo here. All right, and Jonathan, we're going to celebrate some more down here, but I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Thank you, Ben. And yeah, what a catalogue of
job,
great
guys.
heroes
Nice
from Trans Am, both today's and yesterday's, and even yesterday's boys are still going strong in the likes of Boris Said and, of course, the mighty Willie T. Ribbs. Great to see him, and of course he's a local here in Austin. But fun times, Wally Dollenbach and the boys, and that's the fraternity that it is. Trans Am, no question about it. Well done to Gar Robinson, though, a winner here at home at the Circuit of the Americas. Hope you enjoyed all the coverage here on MAV TV. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's where you can catch all the highlights. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
For low to medium volume production parts and full assemblies, utilizing the latest manufacturing technology and automation, which 3D continually invests in. We are able to deliver high-quality parts rather than empty promises. 3D takes on the jobs our competitors simply can't. The Three-Dimensional Services Group loves the challenge. Our team is your team. The Three-Dimensional Services Group, prototype, production, proven.
Got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.